Well, the whip on the ATOS 120A snapped off. Let's replace it. That's what's coming up next on LCARA Ham Radio. Hello, folks. This is Chris, KY4CKP. Well, I was out taking some trash out, in fact, in front of my house and glanced over at my truck and just happened to notice something didn't look quite right. And when I walked over and got closer, I noticed that the whip on my ATOS 120A screwdriver antenna didn't look quite right. In fact, I couldn't even see it at all until I got up really close, and then I noticed. Looks like I've lost a couple of inches off the top of this thing, just snapped right off. And it's probably short enough now that it's not going to be able to tune anymore. So I looked online and came up with a what is hopefully going to work as a replacement whip. I believe documentation says that the ATOS 120A stainless steel whip is 36 and 1/8 inches, and I found a steel whip that is 36 inches. So I think that should work. But some people said that the this replacement is a little thicker metal than the OEM from Yaesu, and I do believe that's true. But supposedly you can just drill out the aluminum that you stick the base into, and then tighten it down with the set screw. So we're going to take a look at that and see if we can repair this ATOS 120A antenna. It's worked very well for me for several years, but I guess there was just one too many trips on the interstate, and it fatigued the metal and ended up snapping right off. Who knows? Who knows where it ended up? But I don't see it right there in the driveway or anything. So we're going to take a look at this and see if we can repair this antenna. So I'm going to begin disassembling the top of this. There's a rubber cap right there that we can see. That slips right off. And then we'll see the housing and the set screw. And we'll take this out. And there's not much left, as you can tell. Snapped off just above the base. So we'll start to disassemble this a little bit. And we'll bring you folks right back. So here you can see I've started to just slowly twist that rubber cap off from the base there. It's just there to help make the antenna a little more weather resistant. You can see the metal tips not poking through anymore. So I'll go ahead and pull that rubber cap off and we'll take a look at what is underneath, and then we'll be able to have access to the set screw. All right, so now we've got the rubber cap off. It's sitting right there. And you can see there's a metal housing that the whip goes into, and not very much of that whip left. But there's the set screw, so we'll loosen that up, pull out the remainder of the original whip, and take a look at exactly how much is left, and also see how close that new whip is going to be to fitting in the hole that's available to us there. So we'll go ahead and remove that set screw and take a look at the situation. What I've heard is and read online is that you can drill out the aluminum where the whip goes. Just drill it out a little bit so it'll accept the slightly larger whip. All right, so here we are. We've got the set screw out. It was really tight in there from when I first assembled the antenna. Used a 3 millimeter Allen wrench to get that out. And it's going to be very difficult, maybe impossible to see, but at the very bottom of that channel, maybe you can kind of see that, is where the um, what's left of that whip goes down in there, and then the set screw bites into it and holds it in. So that part didn't fail. It didn't come loose. It didn't just fall out. It just simply snapped about a quarter inch up from that housing. So we're going to go ahead and take this out and compare the size to the new whip, which is definitely a little bit thicker gauge wire. And so we probably will have to drill out the hole there for the new one to fit. So we'll take a look at that and then bring you folks back to see how we're progressing. All right, so we managed to get the little stub of the whip out. You can see how much it was left and really how much was in there. What have we got there? Probably inch and an eighth, inch and a quarter was in there. So quite a bit was in there. You can see sort of the clean part there on the right hand side of the screen. That was what was sticking out. And then you can see the uh, mild adhesive, maybe. It's still pretty liquid and fluid and tacky to the touch. Maybe it's a conductive fluid that was down in there with it. So that's what was left of that poor little whip that snapped off somewhere. So we're going to take a look at this new whip and again, check the diameter, see if it'll slip in there. Again, I think from what I read, that hole has to be opened up a little bit. It's aluminum housing, so that would be easy enough to drill out, of course. So we'll compare the new whip and we'll see what shape we're in then and whether or not we may have to drill this out. So sure enough, folks, taking a look at the diameter of the new stainless steel whip, it is a little thicker gauge wire than that little hole in there that the original whip went into. So the folks online in the forum weren't lying. Looks like we'll have to drill that aluminum out just a little bit. So I'm going to see if I have a drill bit of an appropriate size and drill that out, and we'll see if we can insert the new whip. And if that looks good, we'll screw it down with the set screw. And then if it goes that easy, we should be ready to reattach to the truck mount and we'll do some testing when we get a chance, maybe in the next day or two. All right, folks, we've drilled out just a little bit of material, not very much at all. I think I found a drill bit that was a really good match for the diameter of that whip wire. And again, probably hard to see, but maybe you can see down in there that it is now going in, I believe, just as far. We'll double check as the original whip did. So we should be about ready to put the set screw back in. And we'll also make sure we get that rubber cap back on there while it's easy to do so. And that may complete this repair. The final step, of course, would be to get it back on the truck and fire up the FT891 that I use with this in the truck and see if it works, see if it'll tune the bands, and we can make some contacts. So um, we'll work on getting this reassembled, and then maybe tomorrow we'll get it back on the truck. And one day this week, I'm working this week, but one day this week, we'll try to get out for maybe a few minutes and uh, and test it and see if everything's going to work okay. So we'll work on getting this reassembled, and then we'll bring you folks back. All right, we've got the whip reinstalled, the set screw reset, and didn't even forget to put the rubber cap back on. We'll put that back down. We're appear to be pretty much ready to go. So when I have time over the next couple of days, sometime this week, with maybe even getting the temperatures to cooperate a little bit, we'll get this back on the truck, get out, and see if it tunes, and try to make a few contacts. So that'll wrap up this part of the video. We should be bringing you folks back when we're ready and able to do some testing. So we'll see you in the next segment. All right, folks, here we are at one of the local parks in my area, and we're just out today to do some testing of the ATOS 120A now that we have attached the new whip on it. Want to make sure that it's still tuning okay. This new whip is supposedly about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the OEM whip, which I don't think is really going to matter a whole lot since it's supposed to actively tune anyway. But we want to make sure that everything's working even in these extremely cold temperatures. You can see we're currently on 20 meters. We're going to see if we can tune to 10 meters which is within the capabilities of the ATOS, and just make sure that the screw is still turning and moving the antenna okay. And we'll try to make some contacts, maybe see if we can make some parks on the air contacts, something like that. So let's go ahead and run a tune. Let's switch over to 40 meters and we'll, or 10 meters, and do a tune. And let's see. So it is in fact moving. Tune down to 10 meters. Not sure there's any activity on 10 meters today. We'll check around a little bit on 10 meters, see if we can find anything. If we do, we'll bring you folks right back. Kilo Yankee 4, Kilo Yankee 4. Kilo Yankee 4, Kilo Yankee 4. QSL, QSL, QSL. Roger, Roger, I've also got you probably 32, 32, 32. I'm in Kilo Yankee, Kentucky. Thanks for the park. Kilo Yankee 4, Charlie, Kilo Papa, Charlie, Kilo Papa. Charlie, Charlie, Kilo Papa. Papa, do I have that right? Charlie, Kilo Papa. Charlie, Kilo Papa. QSL, 5757, into for US 0177 today. QSL, I've got you about 5353 in Central Kentucky, KY. All right, QSL, thanks for the hunting today. Alpha 6, Romeo Sierra. All right, folks, that's going to wrap this one up. I think we have a successful replacement of the ATOS 120A whip with the new Wilson whip, even though it is slightly shorter. I didn't really think that was going to cause a major problem, being that the ATOS is an active tuning type screwdriver antenna. We made several contacts. We made contacts on several bands. I didn't show all of them, but showed 10 meters and 15. I think I also made a contact on 17 and actually 2 or 3 on 20 meters. Even heard a station out of Hawaii making a contact to a POTA station, which I think I did also contact. But I was hearing the station out of Hawaii. As you can tell, some of these contacts are fairly soft, not the strongest of signals, which tends to be true of POTA sometimes because, of course, they're working portable, maybe kind of mobile in a park. So not always the greatest of environments with the strongest of equipment. And I'm using my mobile radio at a park as well, but still managed to make several contacts on a weekday. You know, this was in the afternoon on a weekday, so still found a few POTA activations to hunt down. So yeah, I think we can call this one done. Repair successful and not very expensive. So you know, if you have this kind of an antenna, maybe this will help you if you ever need to replace the whip. If you can't get a hold of the OEM whip, which I could have got an OEM whip, it would have probably taken several weeks for it to ship when I was looking, and I was able to get this whip in just 2 or 3 days. So that'll wrap it up, folks. This is Chris, KY4CKP, for Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. We'll see you folks in the next video, 73.